Welcome to Alchemize Yourself Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading called Poison or Medicine. This is going to be delving into the topic of whether or not your current situation is toxic or healing. Is it draining or uplifting you? What is going on with your current person? And we're going to start with pile number 1 as this Malachite stone. And your card is card number 22, Belladona. And it's called Accept Your Fate. Card number 22. And for pile number 2, we have a Bloodstone. And your card is number 34, Cherry Laurel, and it's called Peacekeeper. So take some time to breathe, tune into your intuition, choose which card you're feeling drawn to. And your timestamp will be in the description box down below, so just take a minute and consider which pile is going to resonate with you today. And then we're going to go to your piles. Hello there, this is for those of you who chose pile number 1 with Belladona, card number 22, Accept Your Fate, and the Malachite stone. So for pile number 1, your person may have a bad habit of running away from accountability and escaping into a dream state. Anytime they start to have difficult feelings and situations, they procrastinate by putting off simple tasks, they start to flake out on their responsibilities. This may be something that you've noticed in this person. They like to remain chill by adopting a good vibes only approach to life, by minimizing their pain and that of others. Anything that provokes strong and uncomfortable emotions will be definitely dodged by people in a Belladonna energy. And they expect people to always be love and light. So this person may tend to escape or run when things get messy between the two of you, when anything feels like it's a little too intense or strong. So you could be dealing with somebody that's an escapist or an avoidant kind of mentality if it's not all pleasure. This person doesn't like the pain mixed with the pleasure. And the thing with Belladonna, the antidote, the best way for somebody in this energy to work through uncomfortable emotions is to feel it and not avoid it. So once they express that emotion fully, they will be surprised at how quickly it passes. So, you know, that's the problem with avoidant behavior, is it intensifies the emotions. It doesn't actually relax the emotions. It makes them stronger and more intense. So if somebody's angry, they get angrier when the issue is avoided. Or if there's a lot of love, it becomes more obsessive if somebody avoids it. You see, so it actually perpetuates the problem. And that's when it can become toxic. There's nothing wrong with being positive and being in good vibes, but when somebody is using those good vibes to avoid any real work on the connection, that's when it goes into that toxic energy. So this person that you're dealing with needs to accept their fate as an emotional being and allow others to express their messy and uncomfortable emotions. Yeah, maybe this person doesn't allow you to express yourself They don't want to see you as a human with needs. They're only thinking about their needs to stay in a positive energy. And then anytime something becomes uncomfortable, they might even push you away and say that you're toxic. So it's like they project that onto you instead of just hearing it out, working through it. So after all, this is what we're here to do as human beings. We're meant to shine our light. We're meant to be in a good energy, but we also have to get comfortable with our shadow and our darkness. I think you're dealing with somebody that feels very uncomfortable with doing shadow work. They don't want to really go deep into their shadow in order to integrate it. And it's not that when you do shadow work that you're negative all the time. It's more about learning how to integrate it so that you can be comfortable with messy situations and not just run, escape, or avoid a person. I'm getting you're also maybe dealing with a person that likes the short-lived relationship. They like the honeymoon phase of dating and relationships. And it's like as soon as you become a person with human needs and desires, it's like you become too much. So this person may have made you feel like your emotions or your needs are too much, even though they're just basic needs that maybe even they want. That's the thing. That's the irony, is they may even have the same needs, but when you have those needs, it's too much for them. So they're not really appreciating your humanity. And that's a toxic trait. So it's okay to hold space for people and face responsibilities. And it actually opens up people to more joy and happiness when you feel like you can be yourself. Because the thing that this person may not be understanding is that when they allow you to have needs and you to just be a human, a person that has highs and lows, then you're able to accept them when they're having highs and lows. This person may even push you away when they're in a low period because they don't want you to see their humanity. We also have purple coming out strong here. So strong crown chakra. You may be very intuitively connected to this person. You may be picking up on their energy, even when it's not all high vibing, and they don't like that. They may feel a little raw and vulnerable at you seeing that about them. So let's dig into your reading and let's delve into a toxic pattern. We've already kind of seen something that could be a major issue here as far as dealing with the highs and lows of being in a relationship with somebody. It's like, because what's going to happen is this person, they're going to keep running and avoiding. So they're going to jump from relationship to relationship as soon as those relationships get a little messy, because they will. It's inevitable. They're going to see a pattern. That's the thing, is you want to recognize a pattern. This could even be something, this popped out, the Eight of Swords in the reverse. So Eight of Swords in the reverse is about releasing yourself from the mental strain and bondage. You could be wanting to release yourself. People like this will get you up in your head, because you will start to self-abandon and self-reject, because you will, when dealing with an avoidant, you will start to internalize that as rejection, because it feels like they're rejecting the very essence of who you are. They're not accepting that you're a dynamic human being, that you're not always going to be fun and games. And so you will maybe internalize that as a rejection. So that's the problem with avoidance. They're actually escaping their own emotions, but it's coming off as rejection to the people that they deal with. And I think that's what's happening here. This has become a pattern of like, okay, well, I can just, something's better. It's like the grass is always greener because nobody's perfect. Nobody is going to be happy and, you know, high vibing all the time. We're usually, you know, it comes and goes in waves. And this person, this is something that they're needing to acknowledge and understand about your connection. I keep having flyers. Yeah, King of Cups. Needing to be more compassionate, needing to have empathy, needing to understand somebody else's point of view. Somebody could have recently started to fall for you or like see something from your point of view. Because that King of Cups is somebody that's emotionally available. That's how you're coming in. That's your expectation. The toxic pattern is the Three of Cups. Yeah, just wanting to have a good time. The Three of Cups is joy and play and hanging out and dating, being the center of attention in some cases. But it's like this person wants casual, friendly kind of engagement. They could be wanting to date around because it's less messy. They can just have fun with people and not have to go deeper. I'm getting this person could be somebody that does date a lot. They don't really want to settle down at this time. Someone could just be happy being single. And that's a pattern. It's like they'll kind of only come around for a good time, not a long time. So they tend to feel like people are replaceable. But people aren't replaceable as far as when you really want to start going deeper into a relationship. Or they may be meeting people like you that want real relationships, and then they end up rejecting, you know, a good partner. But what is the healing that's occurring here? Is there healing? Well, we have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse and the Ten of Wands in the reverse. So the healing is something has become stressful. It's become a pain in the butt to continue juggling and trying to meet new people. Because eventually people run out of options. You know, they go through probably their best options in the beginning, and then it's like, then it becomes too stressful to try to compromise or juggle people or meet new people. So I'm getting that this person realizes that it's not actually that easy to meet new people like you, especially if you have a strong intuitive connection. Somebody's feeling burned out, but I think this is a good thing because it's like something's run its course. Because I think for a while they were kind of able to juggle, they were able to but this person, something has become stressful. And I think this is the beginning of healing because it's like they're no longer the fact that this person's not flexible or compromising, they've dropped the ball, especially when it comes to you. And it's like, it's not working anymore. That kind of energy, it's fun short term, but it loses its thrill. And it takes a lot of energy to meet new people, right? When you're out in the dating scene, it's not easy to match with people. It's not easy just to find quality people that you actually enjoy being with or people that you're actually compatible with. This person has pushed away people that they're compatible with, and they're kind of just left burned out with it. They've played too long and too hard. person may want to come back around to spend some time with you. It's like they're going to come to you kind of like that wounded warrior energy, kind of tired, exhausted. They're tired of like juggling. When you're dating multiple people as well, it's like it's stressful keeping up with all of it. If you're trying to like go date even 2-3 people, that's a lot to juggle in a schedule, or it's a lot to keep up with emotionally. You have to be very emotionally detached. And see, that happy vibe energy becomes really fake when you're tired. This person's also realizing that, hey, I'm not good vibes all the time. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I want to come home and just relax and enjoy a partnership where I don't have to pretend or wear that false mask anymore. So wearing the mask of happy-go-lucky, it gets exhausting. Sometimes you just want to show your true colors with a person, like really be intimate. And you want to be able to express your highs and lows. You want to express if you've had a good day or a bad day. Because most people are very multifaceted. They're not just one, on all the time. And your person is starting to realize that. Hey, that's not realistic. It wasn't realistic for them to expect that out of you. But the addiction or attachment that's fueling it is that Two of Swords in the reverse, that, needing to make a decision. I think your person, Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles, is somebody that doesn't like having to self-reflect. They don't like being alone. They like to kind of constantly feel that void. And it's like the toxic pattern was this inability to make a decision, like just being shut down, shutting people out, ghosting, blocking. And, it's like, oh, I can just block. When things get stressful or messy with a person, I can just block them. But what your person is realizing, this toxic pattern, is by not making decisions, that is a decision. They're literally cutting people out of their life. They've literally cut you out of their life by feeling like, they're non-committal or they can't compromise. This person could be very uncompromising. But the soul lesson being activated here is the strength. Yeah. They want you. They see you as very powerful, very strong. This person needs to tap into their own inner strength. The Strength card upright is about mastering the ego. It's about true confidence. True confidence is knowing when you can be who you are completely and fully, when you can take off your mask, when you can avoid and resist the temptation to just make things easy for yourself. This person could have a wandering eye. It goes back to that grass is greener. It's like, okay, well, there's all these beautiful people out there. So it's like they can't resist that temptation to think that there's always something better around the corner. And that's how you end up with aging players. It's like they just think that they can come and go, use and toss out, and they just think that there's another person there waiting, right? There's always another person. And the healing that's being activated is that they don't need their ego validated. They're understanding that true strength and confidence doesn't come from being disposable. It comes from being able to commit, being able to be strong and resist that temptation to just dispose of a connection. Being strong and confident enough to get to know that person and for them to get to know you. Yeah, the fantasy that's been keeping this person trapped is judgment in the reverse. They feel like they can just run away from karma, right? But see, karma, people can make their own choices. People have free will. And I think this person, they feel like they can just come back, that they could come back to partners, that people fall in love with them easily, that they can always go back. They can just rinse and repeat with these connections. And maybe that has been a pattern before. This person actually probably thinks that they'll always be able to come back to you with the judgment in the reverse. They don't think that there's going to be a final decision made. They're assuming that you're not going to make the decision to walk away from them, so they can kind of sow their wild oats and test the waters on what's out there instead of committing to anything. This person's not learning the lesson. Anytime I see judgment card in reverse, it's somebody that's not really... They don't feel like karma, they feel like they are above karma. And when I think karma, it's not about this big scary thing. It's about just consequences. Eventually, the consequences, the cause and effect, something will catch up with you. I mean, that's just the law of the universe. What goes up must come down. When they drop the ball, they drop the ball. People leave. You move on. And see, that's why it's so important to stay in your power and be willing to walk away, because people will pull you through these cycles and drain your energy. That's how it's been toxic for you. But the growth that can actually happen, Eight of Swords in the reverse, is when you release yourself. Exactly what I said. Once you get out of your head and you recognize the pattern, you break the pattern. They may not be willing to break the pattern. They're assuming that they have you. They're assuming that they have you on lockdown. But when you become stronger and when you release yourself from being in your head, you break the pattern for this person. Especially if it's a true soulful connection. Because, you can't find, soulful connections around every corner. They're very unique, they're very special. There's a strong chemistry and compatibility. And yes, there are highs and lows, but this person's not going to be able to just get that kind of chemistry anywhere and everywhere. It's just not going to work that way. Maybe initially, but then after a few dates or something, the next person is just not, it's not going to be that same clicking together kind of feeling. They're going to recognize that. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. The energy drain is this person's non-committal. The seed is dead. The seed never gets planted. The offer, it's energetic, non-committal. Somebody being non-committal, it wastes your time. It drains your energy because you love a person, and when you keep pouring energy into, it's like watering a bad seed. It's dead. There's no growth. It's a dead end. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of everything. Why would you water the seed when it's dead? if there's no commitment ever going to be made, why would you waste your time with this person when you want a commitment or you want the love of your life? You know, you want somebody that isn't just out looking for the next best thing. Three of Wands, the emotional truth is that you have changed direction. You're releasing yourself and you're moving in a new direction. The emotional truth is it's time to make plans. It's time to set yourself off in a new direction. Because if this isn't working, you're going to plant new seeds. You're going to go somewhere else. That's just that karma, that cause and effect. If this isn't working, you're going to find something somewhere else. So the emotional truth is, and also there's always this expectation, right? The waiting. You're tired of waiting. You're ready for something to actually move forward. Eight of Swords would be stuck in waiting. Three of Wands is looking, waiting for new opportunities, seeking out new opportunities for growth. That's the truth. That's where you're setting yourself free. What's restoring power is, holding back, staying grounded, focusing on stability, no longer giving to this person. And to integrate, well, we have the Ace of Swords sideways. Somebody's going to have to recognize the truth, cut the cord, start holding back. To integrate the lesson, you have to call this person out. You have to speak your truth. You have to be willing to express your truth and be upfront. And what's going to happen is this person's going to realize that they have to be really honest with themselves and others and with you. But you need to be honest with yourself about this connection. This is why we're here in the tarot world. We're trying to get answers. You're seeking a way to empower yourself in your relationship. And when the power dynamic is off, or when somebody's avoiding you or keeping you stuck, leaving and then coming back, it's not a healthy situation for you. Queen of Cups, you're a very loving, very sweet, very nurturing person. The Queen of Cups, of all the queens, they can't deal with players, or it's really emotionally draining for a Queen of Cups to deal with impulsive, non-committal people, because the Queen of Cups feels things very deeply. They love the people that they're with. And, when you love somebody, you can't handle this in and out toxic behavior. It doesn't work long term for you. So, what else do we need to know? Yeah, many of you are setting yourself free. You're moving in a new direction, and that's going to be your healing. The only way to wake an avoidant up is to leave. It's literally to just leave, to not entertain it, especially as the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, one of the greatest soul lessons for the Queen of Cups is self-love, right? Because you cannot give from an empty cup. If you try to fill this person's cup, you will just continue to feel empty. Yep, someone's at a crossroads. Choice, decision, and opportunity. Yep, you're at a crossroads. You have the power to make a decision. You know, it's good to look in on what this person is going through or what they're doing. But at the end of the day, you have free will. You get to choose the path that you are going to take. Are you going to continue to entertain this or hold on to it? Or are you going to set yourself free and open yourself up to new opportunities? And I'm not saying you should never work on a relationship, but it doesn't look like this is the kind of person that's trying to work on things with you. And maybe there's like a time limit, like they're at a crossroads. You're about to take a new path. And the intuition, the moon, emotions, recognition, using your intuition, you know, you're at a path. There's a little person here in this image. It's like somebody's needed to use their intuition. You don't know. There's always that unknown. And also this is about doing the shadow work, going within, you know, facing your fears, facing the subconscious pattern, right? Like being willing to look at it. This person has to be willing to look at that. And you do too. You may have to be looking at the pattern of, you know, love, you know, being too unconditionally loving. Unconditional love can become toxic when it's being taken advantage of, when you're not pouring into your own cup. And the whip and the clover. Yeah, there's been conflict and tension with this person and luck. It's like this person, as soon as there's a conflict or tension or a fallout, they're just like, oh, well, I'll just get lucky and go somewhere else. There's that tension. Oh, this is becoming too messy. I'm just going to seek out some serendipitous, lucky opportunity. Like somebody's willing to risk the connection for something better. It's like they just they change direction, right? And that's just it. It's isolating. You want stability, institution, authority. Somebody could be fearing commitment. They don't want to be stuck. But see, then the person like you, if you're the person that's in love with this person, you end up feeling isolated and stuck because you've closed out your options in order to be available to them. And see, they keep you in that tower. They save you for later because it's like, well, judgment in the reverse. They can come back to you after they just kind of float off, go independent with the cat, and just explore other things, and you're waiting in that tower, but you're not going to be waiting in that tower. Communication, gossip. They could be wanting to have a conversation with you. You may even hear about something. You may get confirmation of this reading through gossip, through people that are saying, oh, well, yeah, they're dating, you know, something of that nature. But I do see some communication, new information being received. What's this about? We have, yeah, somebody's lies. Somebody's cunning and lies are going to get exposed. In some way, you have the intuition, wisdom, and insight to know this. So what other advice? How can you alchemize this situation? You're transforming it. You're setting your sights in a new direction. And you don't even have to tell somebody this. You could just be not there. When they try to come back, you're just not there anymore. We have dedication, altar. So some of you need to dedicate yourself to spirit, your spiritual path. Protection. What else? your magical work, your manifestation work. That's that Three of Wands. I'm getting Three of Wands with the Three of Wands with that altar. It's like you're manifesting something new. You're creating something new. You're going back to the drawing board. That's going to, oh gosh, that's going to shift the energy. We don't need all of this. I mean, okay, let's just go with it. Yeah, respect. The Pentacle is about protection, respecting yourself, respecting your work, respecting what you're wanting to create in your life. And this is the feminine, like honoring the feminine energy here. And something about winter and grounding. I'm getting that with the Four of Pentacles, grounding yourself in the earth, planting seeds that have the ability to create stability. We have fours. Fours represent that stability. So that's very important for you right now. And something about wintertime, you know, that could be significant. Maybe that's when you get communication. Others of you are going to go into your tower. You're going to remove yourself, because we have that tower being represented here. Isolating, removing. I'm getting that you're protecting, guarding, and cleansing your energy at this time. You're not necessarily trying to get into another relationship. This person may be doing that, but I think you're going to be doing some deep inner work, or that's what is being advised. Yeah, this is when you're going to get your power back. Your power. So, pile number one, we're going to close it out here. Accept your fate. There's something bigger for you. You're not meant to settle with people that don't see you, or, you know, the dark. Ooh, what was the dark chalice? Temptation. You're going to become very tempting and alluring to this person. And that's what's going to make them want to come back, because your power is so strong. It's just strong. So please like, share, and subscribe. I hope this resonated with you, and I hope to welcome you back again. Bye. Hello there. This is for those of you who chose pile number 2, the Peacekeeper, with the cherry laurel and the bloodstone. So what we're dealing with here is a peacekeeper. The disempowered cherry laurel is the poison here that tries to keep the peace at all cost. If someone is upset, they believe it is their personal responsibility to calm things down and make things right. They avoid confrontation and are always the first one to yield, which leads them to being taken advantage of. Their feelings do not appear to matter, getting brushed aside and eclipsed by louder and more aggressive personalities. Cherry laurel feels as though they are walking on eggshells with someone, which affects their health. So what I'm getting right off the bat is many of you are people pleasers. You walk on eggshells in order to maintain this connection. And this is a useful skill. It's good to be able to be a mediator, a calm person, and to not try to rock the boat all the time. This is somebody that isn't overly aggressive, but the problem that's happening in your current situation is that you're self-abandoning in order to protect somebody else's feelings, or to not interfere with whatever they have going on. So this is somebody that's being very conflict avoidant. You may even be dealing with somebody like this. Maybe they are conflict avoidant in a situation outside of your connection, but it's affecting your relationship in some way. So you may have similar personalities, but it's so funny because while they maintain the peace with others, you're trying to maintain the peace with them, because the peacekeeper is not somebody that's in tune with their own needs or not standing up for their own needs. So your antidote here is to not allow resentment and bitterness to creep in, because what's happening is when you aren't expressing yourself or honoring your own needs, it builds this festering resentment underneath everything, and then it ends up coming out in very explosive ways later. So when you neglect your needs now, or you try to keep the peace now, all of a sudden when things reach their boiling point, that's when everything comes out. So it's important to choose your battles. There's nothing wrong with being a peacekeeper, but the thing is you have to sometimes have those difficult conversations. So this is also about learning how to set boundaries, learning how to understand when it's appropriate to express a need, a desire, to not be fearful when it comes to saying, hey, this isn't working. You know, peacekeepers are afraid to rock that boat. So we're going to go into what toxic pattern seems to be repeating itself in your connection right now. Something that you may be able to heal or work through, or is it time to walk away? But sometimes you can't say something's toxic if you're not the one expressing your needs. So that is a toxic dynamic that needs to shift. You know, we can't claim someone else is toxic when we're not even expressing ourselves and giving somebody the opportunity to step in and change. We have the Tower. Oh yeah, the toxic pattern is that resentment exploding. Yeah, something has reached a boiling point, and what's happening is when that resentment has built up, you start to self-sabotage. So it's caused a Tower moment. And maybe there's been more than one Tower moment where things will be peaceful for a while, and then all of a sudden, there you go, bam, there's another explosion. Could even be that the person that you're dealing with is like this. Usually when you feel like you need to walk on eggshells with somebody, you're worried about that Tower. You don't want to say, oh, this isn't working, but then it's just not working. So just because you're not expressing that it's not working doesn't mean that it's not working. And something's happened here. And this may be a pattern that you have where you allow things to get out of control internally within yourself. That's the problem with the Peacekeeper. And the healing that's occurring is Three of Wands. Yeah, it's like everything starts to get blocked. You abruptly stop moving something forward. Something ended abruptly. Something felt like it was moving forward. Maybe you were living according to someone else's plan, their path, and it's like, no, I'm not going in your direction. You're not going on this person's path. You're not just going along with it anymore. But you did this very abruptly, and maybe you've done this before. And I think This is something that has needed to heal within you for a long time, not just going with the flow or being led onto somebody else's path when it's not your own. Also, you realize that something was not going to be in alignment with your long-term goals. It wasn't a shared vision. Three of Wands in the reverse is like, this is not working, right? This is not going in the direction that you want it to go in. And you had to call that tower in to abruptly end something. And it came off as toxic, possibly, but it was something that it wasn't abrupt to you, that it came off as very abrupt and out of nowhere to your person. That's what I'm getting here. So the plan changed. And the addiction or attachment that fuels this dynamic, or what fueled this, was the Five of Swords. Too many cooks in the kitchen. I'm going back to that. Your person does this as well. They worry about maintaining the peace with other people at the expense of your connection. And see, nobody's on the same page. Nobody wins when you're in the Five of Swords. Got to keep you happy. Got to keep you happy. Got to keep you happy. And you stepped in and said, no, you're too busy trying to keep all of these other people happy at the expense of this relationship, and you're leaving me out of the plans completely. So you may have felt like you were not even part of this person's plans because they had too much other things going on. And then you had to set a boundary abruptly because what you were realizing is that, hey, this person has too many other people brewing in that pot. This isn't going to work. You're not just going to be an option or just meandering down this person's path on the road to nowhere. You're realizing that this is a road to nowhere with this person. You're not able to collaborate. You're not able to compromise with them. You've been trying to maintain the peace at your expense. The resentment has been building. There are other people here. Some of you have also been dealing with this just socially in general or in your workplace, where it's like you're always the person that's there to just be the doormat or walked all over, or the person that's mediating something, and there's all this drama going on around you and you abruptly just stopped. It's a tower moment. It's always a tower moment when the people pleaser no longer wants to people please or keep the peace anymore. Because you reach that boiling point where you're tired of walking on eggshells. You're tired of trying to create something that's just not working anymore. Some of you realize that this is happening in your workplace dynamics as well. It's like there's something that needs to be healed here. This is a good tower. This is a tower that indicates that you are taking your power back in a situation. You're not just along for the ride for everybody. You're not just along for the ride in your romantic connection, because it's like everybody else is getting priority over you and you're sick of it. It's okay. This person may be trying to keep the peace with their family, their friends, their grandmother, their grandpa, and it's like, but they have no concern about keeping plans when it comes to you. So they don't prioritize you. And it's just not working, and you called them on it. And what this is activating on a soul level, this is a soul lesson, because a lot of times people pleasing, the origins of people pleasing is always linked back to insecurities, early wounds where you were only loved or accepted when you played out a role, when you were a supporting character and not a main character in people's lives, in your own life. And you become a doormat in that energy. Not to say that you are or deserve to be. You're taking your power back. I love this Tower card. The Everyday Witch, this tarot, this is probably one of my favorite Tower cards of all time, because you're in control of this Tower. You're realizing that something is not working, and it's not validating the ego either to be in this energy, to always play that role for people. And it's activating something stronger and something more powerful within you. Yeah, the Lovers. You are activating a partnership where someone chooses you. You were dealing with somebody that was choosing to keep everybody else happy other than you. This person was getting a lot of attention elsewhere. And I'm not just getting with Lovers. I'm just getting that, yeah, it's just that energy of, like everybody else gets this person's attention and you're done with that. Your soul activation is you want a partner that chooses you, that prioritizes you. They're not always distracted with whatever this is. You might be dealing with somebody that also has a very stressful work environment or family environment, and they're constantly getting pulled away and distracted, and they have no problem with that. But they have a problem with when you want them to choose you. That's a problem. And you may both have to break that cycle of people pleasing. This person is needing to set boundaries with this energy, this Five of Swords energy. And you're also needing to set a boundary with it. Like, hey, this is a partnership. This is you and me, not them. And a lot of people fall into these dynamics where they're on the back burner, or they're kind of just floating around in the background while everybody else is getting their needs met. It's that energy of the squeakiest wheels get the grease. And then the peacekeeper gets ignored and doesn't get their needs met because they're not expressing their needs. And your person, they needed you to set that boundary so that they could start setting that boundary with the people in their lives. All these other people causing drama around them, or being needy or clingy around them, your person needed to set a boundary with them. Hey, you're not going to get all this priority over my needs to be with my partner. This is a very important lesson, especially in family dynamics, or people that, just have a lot of people in their lives. Once you choose a partner, you have to honor that. You can't always be allowing other people to interfere with your partnership. This person, whether these people were aware of you or not, this person was allowing these other people to interfere with what the two of you were manifesting together. It was a distraction. They're allowing these people to distract them. I'm getting that you had maybe an explosive blowout where you said, look, why are you always letting these people interfere with us spending time together? Why are you letting these people's opinion about our relationship rule our dynamic? Why are you allowing them to be so important? Why are you making them more important than me? You may have actually had that conversation with this person. You're sick and tired of all this interference because this interference has been blocking momentum. It could have even been a very specific thing, like all of it, this person was making plans to take you out or take you on vacation or just move the relationship forward, and all of a sudden, it's like all this noise in the background got this person's attention, distracted them, and guess what? It's a big load of nothing. It's just and the fantasy here, the fantasy or illusion that's keeping this stuck is the Nine of Cups in reverse. It's not even making them happy. So there's no illusion anymore. The Tower broke the illusion. Your person is realizing this doesn't make me happy. You're saying this doesn't make, they were thinking that everything was okay with you, and it wasn't, or it hasn't been. This could even end up happening. You know, we're all on different timelines. But what I'm getting is there was this illusion that this was going to be happy, joyful, fulfilling, and it's not. It's not happy. It's not fulfilling. It's a dead end because this interference is not happiness and fulfillment for your person. And it's definitely not happiness and fulfillment for you because you either broke up, you shut it down, you said no more, you set a boundary with it. And it's good for growth because it's showing that it's just, you know, the Page of Swords in the reverse, I'm getting gossip. I'm getting opinions that don't even matter. These people, their opinions don't even matter. They're not even telling the truth. They're gossiping. It's frivolous. It's useless communication, useless information, distractions on the phone, whatever it is, it's a distraction. Page of Swords in the reverse is a distractor. And it's not in alignment. It's not making this person happy. I'm getting they may even be listening to poor guidance and information from people. They're being misguided. Oh, this is going to somehow make you happy. No, it's not. It's not making you or this person happy. You want something better. You want something that where this person and you, it's you facing the world, you making plans, not all of this other interference. Yeah. This is toxic. And your person's having a huge wake-up call. The energy drain. What's interesting is this flipped out everywhere. This is the Magician. It's a manipulation. It's an illusion. Because when the Magician upright is about being in your power, I'm getting too that this person or you are allowing other people to misdirect what you're trying to manifest. When you're allowing other people's opinions to matter, their problems, their drama, their whatever, it's blocking manifestation. It's a distraction. You can't create. You can't focus on what you're trying to manifest because you have all of these other people's manifestations interfering with it. And this is something that you're recognizing. When you have all this other drama going on, it's very hard to focus on what you're trying to manifest. It makes it very difficult. It's a drain. It drains your power. It drains your life force. You feel tired. I'm getting that your person may even feel tired at the end of the day. You feel tired. It makes your work harder. Some of you are trying to manifest a new career or creative project as well. You're realizing that your work has actually been blocking. I mean, obviously you have to work to financially sustain yourself. I get it, but some of you may even be trying to manifest a better work environment because you're realizing you're too tired to focus on your personal goals or your personal happiness at this point. And your person, this is something that both of you may be recognizing simultaneously. But the truth, what is the truth that's emerging here? What is the truth? Does it, oh, the Knight of Swords. Well, the truth will set you free. It's time to speak your truth, honor your truth, act on the truth. That's the truth emerging. It's time to take action. It's time to stand up to this. It's time to set some boundaries. Express, hey, you can't just, demand sacrifice at any or every time of day or night. That's a lesson for the peacekeeper, is like, or people pleaser. It's like, look, you can't demand extra time or effort out of me anymore, because this is you taking your power back. And the boundary that's restoring this power is Two of Swords in the reverse, making a decision. Some of you were kind of blindly allowing other people, or your person was, and also the Hierophant in the verse. This is about commitments getting in the way. Your commitments, your beliefs, breaking away from certain commitments and beliefs. Oh, they were both in reverse. How do you take your power back is reevaluate what you're committing yourself to. Are you committing yourself to true empowerment, fulfillment, and manifestation? Or are you just committing blindly by going with wherever everybody else wants to take you? You don't want to be in the energy of that, because that is a mess. That starts to get messy. And your person's realizing that, look, this is pulling them away from being with you, but it's also pulling them away from other things that they're trying to manifest. It's distraction. And there's no reason to be committed to things that are not aligned with your path and your destiny and what you're truly wanting to create. It's a waste of time. You're not going to be committing to things that are a waste of your time anymore. To integrate this, what is the alchemy to integrate? Yeah, using your intuition. The High Priestess is about being really aligned and tuned in with spirit, with your intuition. Also, what you're realizing is you're exposing something. You're exposing these people because you're exposing their intentions. At a certain point, people start to take advantage of it. They start to intentionally misguide you, mislead you, misdirect you. I'm getting this could be both you and your person are both realizing this. You're seeing it. You can't unsee it now. It wasn't just your intuition. It's being exposed with the Tower. And it comes from the Hermit energy, being in this deep self-reflection, isolating yourself, removing yourself, your person needing to remove themselves. So if you've gone into separation with your person, both of you are getting back into your own energy and focusing on your work, your craft, because something was not growing, it was blocking. I'm getting with the Empress in the reverse, overly needy, overly demanding people. What else with this Tower and Three of Wands in the reverse? You have the Bear, strength, power, and authority. Yeah. Standing in your strength, standing in your power, taking your power back. You're not going to just be along for the ride anymore with other people. People that are also just frivolous and misguided. They are not wise. They don't have your best interest. And protection, yeah, protecting yourself, more strength, protecting. You and your person need to protect your relationship, not allow other people to interfere with it. That's something that needs to change. Protecting yourself, even if it means removing yourself from the relationship. Because Five of Swords is negative energy. It's not good. It's sabotaging. What's this Nine of Cups in the reverse? Yes, something was said. I feel like there was something that was said that was the final straw. It's like, wait a second. I see what's happening here. Yeah, peace. Keeping your peace. Maturity. Also, I think you, well, we go back to the Peacekeeper. You actually do bring a lot of peace. You removing yourself from a negative situation and you protecting and guarding your energy, it allows the other person to see, oh, you are the peaceful one. Even though you caused the Tower, you're the one establishing peace because you're setting a boundary for it. In the book, knowledge, yeah, you're expressing this knowledge, this wisdom, secrets. You're calling it out. You're exposing. You have knowledge and wisdom about what's going on here. You know exactly what's going on. It's an open book. You're opening the book of secrets, and this person is able to see this. You're exposing people, possibly, and the communication, yeah, communicating it, expressing it. Gossip, something being exposed, intuitively knowing, there's definitely somebody being exposed here. Somebody was stirring the pot behind the scenes. And this could be in regards to stability in your work, your profession. I'm getting a workplace environment and like a romantic, because a lot of times your workplace dynamics will affect relationships, or certain things that play out at work will also be issues that you have in your relationships. Too much gossip, too much drama, too much interference with what you're actually trying to do. What else to close this out? What else can you work with in this energy, pile number 2? This is when peacekeeping doesn't always support you, and you're learning an important lesson about that. Death. Ooh, you're ending something. You're changing. This is powerful, very powerful scorpionic energy. Death card is that tower. You're not doing it anymore. You're not playing this game anymore. It's ending. And remembering your ancestors. Your ancestors are here to get you to break patterns, ancestral patterns. There could have even been a death in the family. That's very specific, but it was significant as far as exposing things, changing family dynamics, things like that. But there's somebody here that's protecting you, that's wanting you to break this pattern, and grounding, needing to ground yourself, wanting stability, focusing on the material world. There's a lot of air and fire here, and it's needing to be grounded, needing to focus on practical things. Yeah, needing to go into hermit mode. And something about responsibility. I'm getting with that, it's like reevaluating what is your responsibility and what is somebody else's responsibility. What do you have control over versus what other people need to take responsibility and accountability for themselves over? So there's this need to learn responsibility. People around you need to take responsibility for their lives, their drama, their baggage. So we will wrap it up here, pile number 2. I love you guys. Thank you for like, sharing, and subscribing. I hope this resonated, and I hope it was helpful for you. Bye.